Hello, my amazing artists. Today we are going to be learning about optical illusions, or op art, and we're going to look at Jenny Murphy's designs, a graphic designer who created something similar to this. So you're going to be creating your own heart that looks like it's kind of popping out of the page as an optical illusion. I'll teach you how to create this today using line, shape, and form. To begin our hearts, I do recommend folding your paper into a square. We're going to be doing a lot of coloring and it'll go a little bit faster in a slightly smaller paper. So when you take your piece of paper, you want to take the bottom corner and this bottom edge and you want to pull it across and over to the side edge. We're not folding it in half up to the top. Instead, we're pulling it across at an angle, creating an angle on the side here. You want to match up the edges as close as you can. Get that corner nice and pointy. Hold it still and smooth it out. Then you will take your scissors and cut along that folded line. Then when you unfold it, you have a square. On this square, you're going to draw your heart. To make our op art hearts, we're going to start by drawing a heart on the paper. An easy way to draw a heart is to start by drawing a really curvy letter M shape, and then underneath the letter M, you're going to draw a letter V. So I'm going to connect to the bottom of the M down to a point and back up to the side. You can draw this in pencil first if you prefer, or you can dive right in with Sharpie or another black marker like I have. The next thing you need to pull out is either your ruler, if you have a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, you can take a piece of scrap paper, fold it in half, and then if you want it to be even sturdier, fold it in half lengthwise again, or hot dog style, and this gives you a pretty sturdy, firm edge on your scrap paper. This is just a test paper I used for some other projects. And then you're going to be drawing a bunch of vertical lines and then horizontal lines. Now, for this project, we're not going to worry about making them perfectly up and down. In fact, it's a little more fun if we put it at a slight angle. So I'm going to go all the way from the very top of the page down to the very bottom of the page. I'm going to use my straight edge to get a nice straight line. Notice this time I'm drawing straight through the heart all the way down. Then I'm going to do it at a slightly different angle over here. Notice each time I slightly angled the line a little bit different. So now that we have all of our vertical lines, we need to add in some horizontal lines. So I'm going to turn my either ruler or my straight edge paper horizontally. I'm going to tilt it again just at a little bit of an angle so it's not perfectly straight. Here, so now I've got a bunch of vertical lines and a bunch of horizontal lines. Next part comes the coloring step. For the coloring step, you're going to choose just two colors. I would recommend you use complementary colors. Those are colors across from each other on the color wheel, like red and green, blue and orange, yellow and purple. If you don't want to do any of those combinations, you can also choose one of your own. I'm going to use markers to color it in, but you can also use colored pencils or crayons. I think I'm going to do yellow and purple for my complementary color. The nice thing about complementary colors is they really stand out and pop when they're next to each other because they're opposites. So when we're coloring, we're going to be coloring in an every other pattern or an A-B pattern. But the tricky part that you have to pay attention to is we're going to do the opposite pattern inside the heart. So an easy way to remember which ones you need to do is just to make a little dot in every other square going across. So yellow, skip that one, yellow, skip that one, yellow. And then I can come in with my purple. Remember, that one's gonna be purple, that one's gonna be purple. And then again, down here, I don't want this one to be yellow because the one right above it's yellow and it would be touching, so I'm gonna make that purple. And then yellow. And then I'm going to make the opposite in here. So this one is going to be purple. This one's going to be yellow, purple, yellow, purple. Oh, what should this shape be? It's touching purple and purple, so we're gonna make that yellow. And purple, this one's gonna be yellow. Yellow, yellow. Oh, this one needs to be purple, yellow. So you never want the same color to be touching. It helps to plan out all your shapes before you start coloring them in, so you're less likely to make mistakes and you keep that A-B pattern. When you color, make sure you have good craftsmanship. You want to completely fill in your shapes and try and color in one direction, either up or down or left and right, to fill in the whole shape. So now you have colored in all of your shapes in an A-B pattern, or in this case I have yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple. And then down here's purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow. Really pay attention to when you get around the heart. Now, at some point you might make a mistake, and right here I actually went, when I was making my marks, purple, purple, purple. And so now I've got this little purple line there. So making the marks helps you catch it before you color in the whole shape, but now I've got that line. So I think, what could I do with that line? Well, part of being an artist is being a problem solver. And I think I might make a little heart inside of here to hide that line. So right along that line, I'm going to add a smaller heart that I'm going to color in purple. And so that hides that kind of random line that was there, and I have an extra heart. The next thing we're going to add is we are going to add value to make it look like our heart is popping off the page at us. That really gives it a sense of 3D feeling and the optical illusion that we're going for. So I'm going to go back to my black marker. It could be a Sharpie or it could just be a regular black marker. And I'm going to trace around my heart to make the black line just a little bit thicker. You don't want it super, super thick, but you do want it thicker. Then I'm going to switch to a black colored pencil or a black crayon, whichever one you have, and I'm going to add a sense of value. So we're going to create a value scale. I'm going to practice on this little test paper, so I recommend you also practicing. We want to transition from dark to light. So if you color at the same pressure all the way across, it just has one value. But if you're coloring and you start out pressing really hard, and then you start pressing lighter and lighter and lighter, the value gets lighter. Now still I don't have a great transition there. It still goes pretty dark to light. So I'm gonna go back over it a second time, pressing a little bit darker in this medium section. And then lighter and lighter as I get to the edge until it fades away. So you really wanna have that transition. That's called value. And so we want to draw this around our heart, giving a sense of value or that transition from dark to light. So we already have our darkest dark for the black line. So I'm gonna come around it and add a medium line going around it, going out to very light. This gives it us a feeling of a drop shadow, makes it look more 3D. looks like the heart is its own object kind of popping off the page. We can even take a white crayon and add a little bit of a highlight. I'm following the curve of the heart here, adding a lighter section. It'll show up better on the darker colors than the lighter colors. But I'm just gonna go around the heart with that white crayon, make it just a little bit lighter. Gives it a little bit more of a 3D effect.